Welcome to number 3 in the series of An Otherwise Quiet Room that Mandy's been procuring for us here at the Merri Creek Tavern, and it's been great to be a part of this, and each week Mandy's been keen for me to get up here and introduce her and our guest artist, and she's been keen, and me, and keen for me to say a few words about the pub each week, which I'm only too happy to do. And this week I'd like just to tell everyone who hasn't been here before that we're a little venue down here in Westgarth that's been going just a bit more than a year. And in that year, I think it's been incumbent upon myself and Mark Garnett, who run the place, to try and see the place, the size of the place, as a positive and not a negative, the fact that it's so small. And what it's done is it's given us a lot of flexibility with who we can run here, and it's not just for a bunch of young aspiring bands to have their first record launch here, but it's been really good for me to get back in touch with some artists of my own era as they kind of work out ways to keep going and making music in a dignified fashion as they go forward and rearrange their lives. And anyone that was caught Rob Snarsky's first gig here, where he just played all new songs for an entire night, or when Lucy Thorne got up here and played synthesizer for the first time on stage, and really special little things have been happening like that. So it's really great for me tonight to have Soldati here, because I think we've sort of had a lot of parallels in our career, and we're both people that have been known for, you know, one particular thing in our lives, but I think both of us, I'd be right in assuming that we don't want to be totally defined by that one thing that everyone remembers us for. And there's nothing more deflating than sort of going off and making a record and going and doing a massive tour, and you're feeling pretty good, and you're walking through the airport and say, "Hey Mick, when are the weddings going to play again?" And so I know that Sel has the same thing. And by way of introduction, I'll just tell a short story, which I've never really spoken about with Sel, but it's something that I've always remember whenever I hear Sel's name. And not long after the weddings finished and Tiddas finished up, I had a musical theatre piece called Over in the West, which I roped Sel into. And we had a bit of fun with that, and we did some seasons. And as part of the promo for that, one time we got asked to perform on national television on an ABC video sort of hits program on Saturday morning, very early in the morning. And so we were only too glad to do it, to go there and spruik our new careers as solo artists. And the format was going to run that they'd do a bit of an interview, then I'd do a song, then we'd do a long interview, then they'd have an ad break or something, some sort of break because it was ABC. Then Sel would come back and do a song. And as these things go, we sort of got there and we started doing it and started doing the interview, and I kind of felt some sort of, I don't know, some sort of thing going on between me and the host, who will remain nameless, but he just kept referring to me as big fella. And it was it was nasty. I felt that it was nasty, and it was really starting to grind on me, and I was just thinking, you know, maybe don't take it the wrong way, you know, maybe he doesn't mean anything by it. And I know that a lot of women are faced with this all the time as performers, that people are, you know, totally judging them and objectifying them by how they look, but it does cut both ways, and for a fella it can really hurt as well. And you know, I was trying not to feel that, and we got to the ad break and Sally says, "He calls you big man big fella once again, we should fucking walk off." I went, "Really?" And she said, "Do you want to walk off now?" And I thought it was incredibly generous and an incredible thing of solidarity, because she hadn't sung her song yet. So she would have been walking off and not getting to sing her song on national television. And I said, "No, look, I really do appreciate you saying it, but look, let's just, you know, stick it out, and I'll be a big boy and we'll get through it." And I've never forgotten that it was just a real gesture of solidarity that Sal had with me. And as we both go forward with, it's all stuff we do have to deal with, but I just want to say that I've never forgotten it. So, thanks, ladies and gentlemen, Soldati, An Otherwise Quiet Room. Mandy, Connell.
I would just like to acknowledge the people, the Kulin people, who are the traditional owners of the land that we're on. And I'd like to pay my respect to any elders, past, present and emerging, and any elders from any other area that might be here today. I'm not completely smooth at acknowledgement of country yet, but I'm working on it. There's a lot of stuff involved in that, and I'm forever inspired by the amazing behaviour of people like Mick, Thomas and Sally Dastey, who have done shitloads of hard work getting that stuff out there and just being a good example. So I'm very pleased that I have such good examples to follow.
Well, I was in a right place at a right time, you know. Happy accident, me ending up with those Tiddas.
I want to get straight into that. But so this is obviously the incredible Sally Dastey. We're a little web series that came about because I needed some content online. Apparently, if you want gigs, you need video content, and I can't think of anything more boring than having to create content in only in order to get gigs. But there you go. And I took some friends to some cafes and we shot videos on iPhones, and then a videography student got involved, and then we had an audio guy, and it kind of snowballed, and then we made another season because another videography friend who's just a genius, who's not here tonight unfortunately, Agostino Soldati, said, "What do you mean you're making a web series? Why didn't you call me?" I went, "'Cause can't afford you." And he went, "We'll work something out." And I've been very blessed, and I'm very happy that we're here now, and I get to do things like ask questions about the careers and song choices and songwriting habits of some of my favourite people. So thanks so much for coming to do this, where we get to tell you how awesome you are.
Thank you for having me, darling, and thanks for everything you're doing. This is next, you know, everyone that's coming after you gets the benefit too. Remember that, you know. We've had our lucky time, and if we had any influence on anybody, then as everybody else comes along, they continue doing that. And you know, that Mick talking about solidarity, it's you know, it's really important that we look after each other, isn't it? You know, and
yeah,
with the tissues and that.
I'm pretty sure that everyone here has a good idea about who you are, but I thought it'd be nice to kick off with a focus just on you and get you to play us a song on your own.
All right. Have you got my guitar, you fellas?
Yep.
Okay.
Yep.
Okay, so I'll give this a go. This is called Something Coming in the Wind, and I wrote it when I was pregnant with Jim, my little Jim, who's... I've got to be careful what I say because I know he'll thump me. No, he won't thump me, but see, already he's, "Mum!" He's 19 in November.
Yeah, that'll do it.
Yeah. All right, we'll give this a go. Started writing this up by the Mitchell River, up north. This incredible wind, huge trees, and this incredible wind came through. I didn't know I was pregnant yet, but something coming in the wind, right? Anyone who's been pregnant knows what I'm talking about. Something coming in on the wind today. Gonna take a happy spirit far from this place. Been upside down for a long time now, but I'm making my way. I'm gonna show you how to love. You know I'm living for it, and I know what you're giving for it, and it shows. If you're ready for it, this I know. Open my eyes and I can see light, and I know about so many of your sleepless nights. I keep it moving and you know I'm still here, but I'll make my way so don't forget about me.
for it and it shows. If you're ready for it, this I know. You're my friend for life, with me all the time. You're my friend for life, you're with me all the time. Something coming in on the wind today. Gonna take a happy spirit far from this place. Upside down for a long time now, but I'm making my way. I'm gonna show you how to love. You know I'm living for it, and I know what you're giving for it, and it shows. If you're ready for it, this I know. If you're ready for it, this I know.
Thank you. He's a wise fella, Jimmy, and he has taught me a lot about love and a lot about empathy. He has an incredible empathy for others, an ability to look from the other perspective, and he oftentimes pulls me up. Now, hang on a minute, Mum. You got to think about, you know, and he'll throw these other angles on. You're right, Jim. You know, he really has that ability to, and you know, and he's a boy that's grown up in West Heidelberg, and we got a lot of heart out there. You gotta have heart.
I was lucky enough to be invited to come and have our rehearsal at Sally's home in Heidelberg, in West Heidelberg.
Yeah, or Heidelberg Heights if you want to be, you know, snooty.
Reservoir. And it's just, it was an incredibly generous thing for her to do, to let me into her house.
Yeah, because I even cleaned the dunny for you.
Wow. I didn't even need it.
I know. Afterwards I went, oh God, she didn't even use it.
I appreciate the gesture though. She did ply me with a lot of tea, so that it was a strong possibility that I might have needed it.
It was all part of the plan.
Yeah, I was too distracted though. Sally's got an amazing dog. Like, what's her name again?
Maddie.
Maddie. Madeline. Oh, best doggo in the world.
She's she's the dog of a lifetime. My mum says she's a one-woman dog, that one. You know, she's a big brown dog. She looks like the dogs that eat children when you see them on the news. But she's the one, she gets bitten by others, dogs and children. And she'd never bite you back. And she's, we got her when Jim was 4. So she's getting on, you know. And she's all white-faced now.
Distinguished.
Her knees are stuffed. She's got lumpy growths everywhere. She's got a few missing teeth, whiskers poking out everywhere. She walks funny. I've used that before. Her and I got a lot in common. But
Including the whiskers.
Yeah, hello. Unreal. I could make a coat out of the stuff I pluck out of her.
But I loved getting to just sit on the porch and play music and drink a cup of tea, and I can't remember the last time I really did it that way.
Well, I haven't done it there for a really long time, so it was really special for me too, you know, having you there. I was saying to Mandy before, my family's been in that house in Heidelberg Heights for 60 years. Apart from, I think now, Mrs. Brush up the road, we're the last ones in the street from the original time,
Mrs.
you know.
Brush.
Yeah, Mr. and Mrs.
You've
Brush.
got neighbours called Mrs. and Mr.
Mm-hmm. and Mrs. Brush is in her 90s, and I think she's still putting her bins out. But, you know, that has an enormous amount of history for me, that house. I think about everything I've been through in my life and the safe, secure place I had within the walls of that, within the Dastey compound, as we call it, because now we've got a big fence up the front. And, I was talking to you about... See, I've already done it, right? Watch the clock, everybody.
No, this is we're on schedule.
We were talking about. I started to tell you about Henry the Duck.
Yes.
And I don't know. Maybe there might be a couple of you here that know my Henry the Duck story, so bear with me. But when I was I forgot to point to the spot where he was born in the kitchen to show you. Mm-hmm. But when I was early primary school years, I started nagging Dad, you know, I want a duckling, because Kleenex gives you softness, Kleenex gives you care. Whenever you need softness, Kleenex tissues will be there. Put some
Kleenex gives you softness in your life.
Oh, God. Give me the tissues.
You realise you totally destroyed me for an ABC pickup, because I can't do product endorsements.
But yeah, so Dad took me out to Warrandyte, and we visited this old lady. She was, you know, she was probably in her 40s, but I know she looked like an old lady to me then. And she gave us 6 duck eggs. And my old doll's house that I used to play with little dollies, it had a A-frame roof, you know, so, and a little bedroom. Dad drilled a hole in the side and attached a light globe, and these 6 duck eggs, and I don't think he ever really thought it was going to work, you know. But lo and behold, one hatched out, and they all called out to me, and I'm there watching this little weird looking little thing finally that came out of the... I was like, he's not like in the ads. But, you know, I'm mucking around there because, you can imagine, right? And the little fella, after the big battle, and he finally fell out of that shell, and he just laid there, and I saw him go, like, are you my mother? Wow. Not with the American accent, of course, but you know what I'm talking about.
You imprinted it.
And so him and I were inseparable. He followed me everywhere. He waited for me to come home and see that he was about the size of this guy in the bar. Did you see the guy above the bar? But I think he was even bigger than that. He was a big guy, and he was all multicoloured. He was incredible. I've got a lot of feathers. No, I've got a lot of feathers that we saved over the years, you know. Jim's going to kill me for all this. But, you know, so like we played chasey. He'd chase me, and then, you know, they'd watch from inside the house, and they'd say, and then I'd be running chasing him, and he never learned how to fly. But, you know, I'd come home.
Human.
Yeah, I couldn't. I tried. But, you know, I'd come home from school, and he'd be there at the bottom of the driveway, and he'd come running up that driveway. And he used to sit and cut. He was my baby, you know. And this day came, and I came home from school, and Mum said to me, Dad said to tell you, as soon as you came home from school, go straight out the back to Henry. So I went out the back, and I could see he hadn't been well for a couple of days. I had him for years, you know. And he hadn't stood up all day, Dad said, you know. Mm. But he saw me. I sat down, and he came over best he could, and he sat down in my lap, and he put his head down, and he died in my arms. He'd been waiting for me all day. Oh. Yeah. So when I saw that duck out there, I went, is this story going to work or what?
I've got a really good mate, a songwriting sort of buddy called Lucy Wise, who is the wonderful partner of our incredible sound engineer, Mischa. and she's got a song that has always stuck in my rib cage. It starts, "There's an old-fashioned picture of you holding that rooster like a doll, like a puppy, like a child.
Oh.
And you were the only one." It's just stunning. The chorus is actually about Rowena, her sister, who I used to be in a band with. And Rowie had this habit of saying cute little things when she was little. And someone had a birthday party, and her mum used to keep a record of all the kooky things they said when they were little. And she asked what number was inside of you. Is it your birthday? What number is inside of you?
Oh.
So the chorus is, "What number is inside of us? And does that number make you grow?"
Oh.
Isn't that beautiful?
Wow.
So you're not the only one who's had a very intense familial relationship with a large bird.
Mum brought him down to school once in a Jeep. Remember, right? The shopping Jeep. and I'm sitting there there was another mother, one of the other kids' mother said, "Oh, you shouldn't let him so near her face." Because he used to sit with his face tucked in like this and just, and like cuddle. And Mum said, "He's her baby. She's his mother. He's not going to,
Mm. I used to sit when I was a kid. Yes, this is only relevant because yesterday I went to a funeral, and to get to the funeral I had to drive through the town that we lived in when I was very small. And I was an only child, and we didn't have a television, which I'm now grateful for, but I think I resented at the time. And so I used to spend hours sitting on the chook shed roof with my recorder playing to an audience of sheep. And I drove past yesterday and I went, "Holy shit, that's the duck shed. That's the chook shed. That's my chook shed." It's my very first concert hall.
Oh.
Oh, man. But you've got a lot of really great stories about that house, and there's no way we could tell. You should write a book about the house, really.
Oh, yeah, that's a good idea.
I'm going to take back the word should and replace it with could. You could write a book about that house. Should's a guilt word. But it's very mean to tell a creative person all of the things they should do, because there aren't enough hours in life to do all of the things. But I think you've got a Magic Hills hoist.
Yeah, when you've said that, then I'm looking around the place and seeing everything I love and remember about it. And yeah, there's a Magic Hills hoist. I don't know what it is. I reckon I've got an album's worth of songs out of Peg and Washing on that thing. And, there's the inevitable, the bang on the bloody kitchen window. "Get off that Hills hoist!" Whee! But yeah, at the minute, I've got to be honest, it hasn't happened for a while. But I've been out there and I've been pegging stuff on the line and gone, "Oh, that's a good idea." And gone back in the house and grabbed my guitar and found something,
Is that how this next one?
Yeah, the day you're talking about was after Auntie Ruby Hunter passed away. And I'd had a phone call from her beautiful friend Bernice, and she told me, we talked for a while, and she told me this pretty funny yarn about the time that I don't know if any of you've heard of FRL, Folk Rhythm and Life Festival up Wangaratta Way, El Dorado. And yeah. And so Ruby and Bernice had done a road trip together. I think it was the only year she played up there, or went up there anyway, without Arch. And so it was the two women on their crazy road trip, And they'd hired this black ute apparently. And so the two of them cruised up and did the festival, and they're cruising home, and they stopped at, I think it's the big petrol station near Flowerdale on the left as you're coming into Melbourne. Is it? And anyway, this fella in this other ute was road raging him. And, you know, Bernice is going, oh, this is, you know, he's really nasty and all that. And Ruby said, stand your ground, woman. You know, she said, just, you know, don't let him get to you. We'll be right. They pull into this petrol station and he's still going for it. Now, I think these ladies had tinted windows and he didn't. I think that's how the story went. So he couldn't see who he was yelling at. He just probably assumed they were a couple of blokes, you know. And they're both little ladies, these two. Bernice too. Little ones. And apparently Ruby's just stepped down out of the ute, I assume, gotten out of the ute, taken off her little, you remember she'd wear little Goldie sandals, maybe? If you're, she takes off her two little sandals. She looked at him. She slapped those sandals together and she looked at this guy. Well, he got back in his ute and he backed out. He drove out of that petrol station. Yeah. Breakneck speed, and the whole joint apparently erupted in laughter and applause. She sent him on his way, you know. But Bernice said to me, you know, if there were three things I would sum up, Ruby, it would be love, laughter, and an incredible wit. And I got off the phone to her and went out to the washing line, and that's when I thought, you know, oh, there's something in this story, but I don't know how to sing incredible wit. So, anyway, we'll see. We'll give it a crack. So we're
What
gonna
rhymes with incredible wit?
Well, anything if you want it to. But
All right.
Fire, firelight. It's a fire that you never see the like of again. Better stand your ground like the good woman said. 'Cause there's still a lot of learning to do. Hey, still a lot of learning to do. Life. It's a life lived well and a life so fine. When the morning comes, better stand in line. 'Cause there's still a lot of learning to do. Hey, there's still a lot of loving to do. Hey, still a lot of learning to do. Hey, still a lot of loving to do. Pray that the days don't go too slowly. They take so long and the nights so lonely. When there's still a lot of learning to do. Hey, still a lot of learning to do. Hey, still a lot of learning to do. Hey, still a lot of loving to do. Courage. Love, the shining sun. Courage of love, laughter, we are one. Give us a hey. And there's still a lot of learning to do. Hey, still a lot of loving to do. Hey, still a lot of learning to do. Hey, still a lot of loving to do. Hey, still a lot of learning to do. Hey, still a lot of loving to do. Hey, still a lot of learning to do. Hey, still a lot of loving to do.
Come on, done it.
That's an amazing song. It's just an amazing song. I write so many miserable, and that one's just, it's like, that's how you meant to think about life. That's how you meant to do it. And I'm like, I just, hey.
Like you're at the footy.
Yeah. Yeah, there should be more football chants like that.
Hey, maybe that could be one of the AFLW. I'm stealing that idea from Oog, Amy Saunders from the Tiddas, here often known as Oog, just for your benefit. That's Oogie Bear. She came up with this. She was talking about, wouldn't it be great if the women's teams had some footy songs sung by, you know,
Yeah.
well, you know, we're not too busy.
It's true. It's very, do you know, I actually started writing a song that I feel like I can only finish with the help of an AFLW team. I want them to write the verses about all the things that piss them off and make them proud.
You know a
That's a
board
great-
member.
I do know a board. Can you remind me?
I will.
That's ladies and gentlemen, this is my co-producer, editor, and glorious benefactor, my mother, Leanne Connell. Oh. It goes out, yeah. I think. Do or die, you pay the price. You can play rough, but ladies, you must still be nice. You're playing in the big leagues now. That's how it is. You survive the night games. I can't remember it. Now you're in the big leagues.
Oh, yeah. That's good.
Yeah. It's something of a ladies' season is 7 rounds, but it makes a change from the ladies' lounge. Brilliant. We should finish that with a team and then like go out and do an anthem. That'd be so much fun. I'm sure we get funding for a project like that, right?
Yeah.
Funny, I was going to Bucks too, right? And you said that.
Last month, Mick told us about how the place was named. Apparently, the Merri Creek was the Merri Creek, which just means very rocky, and he thought it was cool to have a venue that rocked. I love bad puns. It's so good. So this next song, you were telling me a little bit about it in our rehearsal. And I thought it was interesting to hear a bit about how you come up with your songs, because a lot of the people who follow An Otherwise Quiet Room are avid songwriters or big fans of the creative process. And everyone's got a different style, and I've noticed a lot of songwriters generally say, oh, no, I don't use tools, or I don't have a technique. But if you get them to open up about where they were when they wrote a song or what they were doing, it gives me a bit of an insight into things. And sometimes I think, I've had that feeling, or maybe I should follow it next time.
Well, one thing I noticed about you is there's a similar thing with me, that like, this is where it goes. This is where it goes to the F. It goes with the lyric. That's where it goes. I'm sorry it doesn't count to 4. You know, I'm sorry it doesn't add up to an even amount for you. Like,
Yeah,
but
the dreaded half bar.
yeah, half bar Dastey
This is just an extra one beat here. That's just, yeah.
in the key of Tiddas, the boys used to say. You know, like, it's that, like, this isn't what I'm just going to quickly say this. The falling fingernail moon tonight, and I'm wondering, is it right? The chords just went with that melody, you know what I mean? I've never considered myself any kind of clever, calculating songwriter, but there's one thing that I kind of often found myself doing was there was often 3 verses and a 4th bit.
Isn't that, is that a bridge?
Is that something? Yeah, a bridge or
Coda? There's all sorts of fancy words for these things.
But in terms of this one that we're talking about, this was so I'll try and make this kind of, because this could be a long yarn and I don't want to just drag you along all the way. One of the most beautiful things to happen to me in my career was meeting the Mills sisters from Thursday Island. The gift of meeting those women, their ability to love and share that beautiful kindness and that beautiful spirit with everybody, tirelessly. You know, I mean, they were elderly ladies back then when we were touring, but they still had energy and love for everybody that we came across, you know. And, you know, Auntie Rita, so there's Auntie Rita Mills, who's passed away back in 2000, very special lady. And to the beautiful Auntie Sessa and Auntie Ina Mills, if you ever catch this, I love you. Love you so. Thank you for all your goodness. Very, very special experience meeting them. Above any famous name anyone could throw at you, if you met the Mills sisters, you'll never forget it. Auntie Rita match-made me and my Darren, and that's how we have our Jim. I have a photo of Auntie Rita and Jim on the mantelpiece at home. And Jim was, you know, 8 months old or something, you know, the baby face. And she's holding him, smiling. It's a beautiful photo. I wrote this on a cardboard string packet, because that's all there was in the back of the car at the time. Bawling my eyes out on the way down to Port Douglas. Leaving them, saying goodbye to the Mills sisters was always hard. So I'll give this a go then.
Yeah.
This is to Auntie across the sea.
Oh, hang on. Brief pause. Just a technical interlude. Da, 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 da.
There's someone from Thursday Island going, yeah, play that Auntie song. Yeah. Okay, so.
To Auntie across the sea, who's far away from me. I know I can look up high. We see the same blue sky. How did I live before? I found your open door. Love, it comes for free. my time got away from me. 'Cause your smile gives me everything I need. To Auntie across the sea, your love, it comes for free. Wish I could never leave. Wish I'd never leave your loving arms and smell of frangipani. To Auntie across the sea.
That was their literally the way they end all their songs.
Oh, it's got such a TI feel to it.
I just had to make up some lyrics.
So good.
I forgot the words. Second verse is not that.
Oh, just then? You just
Yeah,
then?
I just thought, oh well, better rhyme it.
Well, it was nice. It sounded good. I wouldn't. And it's on tape, so you'll be able to remember it if you want to.
It's the it's the remix.
We can take it to FRL. Get the boys to. I'm actually really lucky to have been able to play FRL with Girl Friday, who is our incredible door person over there. Thanks, Friday. And Bob Hutchison on guitar, and we went out to FRL and had a we had a really good festival, and I'm really attached to that part of the country. My dad was from spent most of his life really in the northeast of Victoria, which is where that festival is, in El Dorado. I never found my El Dorado. I can't help it. It happens. Sorry. But I write a lot of songs about home. I'm always that connection to particular places is just really fiercely strong sometimes. So, and there's another place that's very, very close to my heart, which is Malden, which is in the Goldfields. And I've actually just moved out to Castlemaine. And I didn't know this was going to happen when I wrote this song, but the guys and I were playing at Malden, and I'd promised Friday that we would go swimming. I had this amazing ritual where I go to the Golden Point Reservoir and swim at the reservoir at the festival. It's my escape from the crazy madness. The guys will tell you, I know a lot of people at Malden Folk Festival, and it can be very tiring just to walk across a field with me, so I promised them I would take them swimming to this place, and I ended up on stage 4 or 5 times a day for 4 days straight, and I never took her swimming to my special place, because I'm selfish that way. So I thought I'd make it up to her, and I wrote this next song for Tracy, for Friday. It's not quite as good as the swimming experience, but we'll, there's plenty of time for that. This is my promise. And because I've just moved to Castlemaine, you'll understand why it's, I'm pretty fond of it. Let's go swimming out in Golden Point, drive out from Castlemaine, take the Pyrenees highway towards Hutchison. We'll spend the afternoon, these sweet Goldfield summers. You need a place to keep cool. Sun on the floor let down our hair. Let's go swimming out in Golden Point, drive out from Castlemaine, take the Pyrenees highway towards Tewton. We'll spend the afternoon, these sweet Goldfield summers. You need a place to keep cool. These sweet Goldfield summers, you need a place to keep cool. You're tired and I know, you're 2 steps from tears, and a drought is a hard thing to bear. For now there's a watering hole pretty nearby. Oh, you can come with me just for a few hours. You can come swimming just for a little while. Let's go let down our hair. Let's go swimming out in Golden Point, drive out from Castlemaine, take the Pyrenees highway towards Tewton. We'll spend the afternoon, these sweet Goldfield summers. You need a place to keep cool. Nobody knows when the sadness will come. Winter's no different that way from summer. Oh, but Tracy, it passes, and then what comes after is a chance to go swimming and to let down our hair. Let's go swimming out at Golden Point, drive out from Castlemaine, take the Pyrenees highway towards Tewton. We'll spend the afternoon, these sweet Goldfield summers. You need a place to keep cool. These sweet Goldfield summers, you need a place to keep cool. Thank you so much. We have 10 minutes left on the hour, and we have a couple more treats for you. So that's what I want to hear. I like an enthusiastic audience. Beats a disinterested one, certainly in Melbourne. So I know that you've got this whole career of amazing things that you've done, and it's not like this is your life or anything, but when I was really small, we moved to Melbourne before I was 10, and we became very much entrenched in the Brunswick Music Festival, and I did things like stuff envelopes and hang around the door and get under people's feet generally, but somewhere in that bunch of events, I remember seeing Tiddas play for the first time, and my mum has always been this, she's an incredible woman, and she's got lots of very intelligent and wise habits about her, but one of the things that she really liked to do was make sure that we went and saw Indigenous performers. And she's a big fan of Archie Roach, like huge fan of Archie Roach's, and that meant I got to hear, there's no one here who doesn't know who Archie Roach is there? No, that's ridiculous. But, but I was very young and very impressionable, and I think it was my very first Brunswick Music Festival experience, or it might have been a Coburg festival, but it was that mob, and we went out, and it was the first time I had seen an all-woman group before, and I saw you guys play, and I don't remember exactly. Mum might, I don't know. She can tell me later. But she was like, that's Tiddas. This is going to be really special. And we sat in, I think it was like the velodrome, or it was an outdoor venue, and there were a lot of people, and everybody would they just shut up and listened, and everyone was so connected and so happy, and it's a really powerful memory from my childhood.
Lovely, Mandy.
And so this is, I got to tell you, this is a real thrill for me. But you've done a lot since Tiddas, and I didn't mean to make you cry. You've done a lot, and not just with the Tiddas, but your voice, I would argue, has changed the sound of Australian music, particularly Australian female vocalists. And I think I can hear your voice. I know that the waifs certainly talk about seeing you play and hearing your voice and going to Port Fairy and going, oh, I want to get up and do that, you know. And I think I can hear that in their singing. And
Darling
a lot
girls,
of famous people.
yeah.
And people come to me now and say things like, oh, you know, you sound a lot like Missy Higgins. And I'm like, what? I mean, it's not, I don't have a problem with that. Yay, thank you. But also, I didn't really get it, and then I realised that that's an Australian phrasing, and it's a Sally Dastey phrasing that a whole generation of us have got. And
That's gonna get back.
Well, I think I mean, this is just my opinion, but it's a sort of style that I hear and a sound that I hear, and I like to ask people on the show about what the Australian sound means to them. But in your case, you're so humble. I don't think you have any idea of the impact that you have had on us.
When we talked briefly about this, you and I, the other day, one of the things about it that first occurred to me was, in the company of the Tiddas, in the company of Amy and Lou, you know, we were able to kind of just have a crack at whatever we wanted to try, and we were safe with each other. You know, we weren't trying to please anybody else. Amy's got a really good something she says about that. We thought if we liked it, maybe other people will, you know. And it never occurred to us that we were being clever about singing with our accent. It just felt right. Quickly though, I want to say, as well as the three Tiddas on stage, there was Jill Shelton, our manager, who now manages Archie and does an incredible job with everything she puts her hand to.
And she responds to emails from complete unknown indie web series producers who are plucky enough to ask if Archie Roach will come on the show. She wrote back to me and said, I'll check the diary. Yeah, she's a boss.
She's unreal. And at the time too, we had our sound engineer was Janine Temmie. So we were 5 women travelling on the road together. This one did our lights too. Yeah, right, Deb. So there's a whole heap of women behind the scenes too that, you know, we had the joy of being up there and getting all the attention. But that was a team, us 5 women, and we were unique. I don't know if anyone can think of another band that had crew and management, and we're all women. 5 cycles on the road. Edit that one out.
No way.
And then just because we're in the company of Mick Thomas, I gave Dylan a shout out the other night when we were up in Darwin. But again, Dylan Hughes, when Janine Temmie moved on and went with her beautiful life. Dylan came in and he was a darling, and he was beautiful support for us, you know. So just worth mentioning everybody else that's behind there.
Yeah, I'm so glad that you did that, and we talked about it in the rehearsal, and I get a bit stage struck and starstruck, and I sometimes miss things, but that's such an important thing you can't be what you can't see, and you guys, I mean, yeah, it was so cool to have all you guys working on tech and just doing it, you know. sometimes it's just so hard to like see somebody else and go, oh, I could do that. That's such a big deal.
Yeah.
But I have one more story that I want you to tell, and that is your Tiddas and Weddos. What's this love affair between the Tiddas and Weddos? Weddings, parties, anything for those of you who don't know, and I don't think there's many, but there's a couple here. Weddings, Parties, Anything was a band that Mick Thomas, our host, fronted for a number of years with amazing amounts of success. They toured the world, and their music is part of people's whole family traditions, and they're an incredible band, just incredible, with great songs that were all like folk punk and lyrical and poetic and just tough, and it was awesome. But yeah, the Tiddas and Weddos have a special...
Yeah, we do, and I mean, we just hit it off. I don't know, us girls weren't really girly girls, so maybe we were able to kind of swing in and muck around and have fun and not take anything too seriously, even though in some places we were known as, very difficult women and took things too serious. And well, that's because we were like busy saying, you know, you have to stand up for yourself, you know. But yeah, it was a beautiful, and it carried on. That from the first national tour we did with them, where the antics. Oh my God, I wish we had time. The antics.
Maybe you shouldn't tell them on camera.
Meet you at the beer garden.
Yeah. Thank you so much, ladies and gentlemen. We'll see you at the bar. From the bustle of the airport traffic, I can read it in the paper now. They're taking all the half-caste children from the towns where they're not allowed. Like the rating of an adult movie, nobody's